I'm at Wittenham Clumps. I did the lower part of Wittenham last week, which was yeah, it's November now. It is heading towards winter, and it's pretty grim. I started to come up. There's a lot of interesting stuff in it. It's a very small parish, and there's a lot of interesting stuff up here. So we've done the Iron Age oppidum. All right, let's call it a town. Let's not bother with the Latin phrases. There's a town down at the bottom, across the river. This side of the river, there's a wood, and then there's this Iron Age hill fort up here. So there's a defended town down there, an Iron Age hill fort up here. So it must have been really important. Across the way, there's a tiny little coombe. Let me show you. Over there and up there. That's called on one of the 1800 maps Harp Hill. And there's a square enclosure at the top. I'm going to have a look at that. May very well not see very much. But anyway, yeah, let's go and have a look at that. So that's the quite a good view of the Iron Age enclosure. And down there is the Iron Age town. You can see the Thames just in the distance. Over there is the Berkshire Downs and the Ridgeway. Frustratingly, I can't get in, but you can just see the base of that big tree over there, a earthwork. And it's about the size of a tennis court, I'd estimate, from here, but it's square or rectangular. It wasn't just the Romans that did square things, so yes, archaeologists often joke that it's the Romans that brought corners to Britain. If you look at a lot of stuff, including satellite photograph, which is from Wittenham here. Yeah, lots of curvy lines and really poor layouts. Well, it met their needs. It was not as efficient as square, but there were some Iron Age things that were square, rectangular. That's a better view. Should just be able to see an embankment. Time Team did come up here, they did a programme, but I don't think they dug this part. They dug the bit just here, in this field here. And there was a Roman villa here, and I think some water tanks as well, lined water tanks. I can't remember what they're lined with, but they were. And so it does make you wonder what this was. Because you've got an Iron Age hill fort over there, 100 yards away, which is your standard sort of defences going around there, you know, really efficient use of the landscape to make your defensive hug that landscape. Make it really hard for attackers, and it looks good. But this is set on top of the hill with an arbitrary shape, a rectangle. So it's this is taming nature, if you see what I mean. But anyway, I just thought I'd come up here and have a look. I can't get in there. There's a fence around it. So we'll move on. I'll just point out over there, we've got Didcot. That's Didcot Power Station. There was big cooling towers at one point. When they were demolishing them, one collapsed and killed somebody. And the HSE, the Health and Safety Executive, poured in officers from all over the country to go and investigate. It was a very daft accident. But I just thought I'd point that out. You know, even today, major accidents that kill people at work are still happening. So that's where we started yesterday, by that. So that's where we started yesterday by that church, and then went down, not yesterday, last week, and had a look along that dike hills there, the dike that cuts off that headland. I can get in after all, just got in through the gate, so have a little look. So as you may be able to see, it runs along in a straight line there, and then takes a turn in a straight line along there. So yes, it's only a very, I daren't have a foofle around, it's bound to be a scheduled monument. There's a squirrel. But I would like to know if it was a stone wall. Oh, there's two of them. So it's obviously an enclosure of some importance. They put the effort into you can see that they put the effort in to survey this, measure it up, make sure it was a proper right angle. Obviously we don't know the date. It might not be Roman at all. It might not be Iron Age, but it could be, you know, modern. And when we know people do make use of reuse land over and over again, so I'm not going to stick my neck out. I suspect it's Roman, but as I said in the last video, I haven't looked at GB Grundy's. He not only translated Old English charters, he also looked at maps to see where they, you know, to map them out. What he was trying to do is find out about Roman Britain by looking at Anglo-Saxon maps, and he admits he failed, but he was nonetheless a really good. You know, the Old English weren't interested in the Romans. Or anything really that they left. And the things they were impressed by didn't really, though there is some poetry about the ruins of Bath, but really they were making Britain anew in many ways. And so yeah, I couldn't find his translation or where, you know, his definition of where all the landmarks were, and so I translated it myself. Been learning Old English for about a year, and it's quite easy because it's all about take a left here, look at this stone over there. There's nothing too complicated about that. And but of course I don't have his skills at finding stuff. I suspect where I've just walked up from might be the Cleaver Garter, which basically means cliff gate. So I'm wondering whether or not it meant cleft. I guess extremely steep down there. And then it goes on to Schillingers Brock, which I'm going to go to now. So what am I doing this for? It's a jolly good walk. Getting fat during coronavirus stuff. Keep me fit. It's also trying to understand how England was made up, how Britain got its landscape, its human influence landscape. I'm very much interested in that. How counties and cities and towns and villages, how they were all organised, how we cut up the landscape into ownership units, why everything is called the thing it is. And English charters are one of those ways of understanding that. But the Old English did begin anew in many ways. So loads of 90% of English villages in the south are named by the Old English. That's why you'll get lots of Wands and Wens. They're named after Old English gods, Woden, Wansborough and so on. But but I find, when we start talking about, there's a trace of nationalism in it that makes me uncomfortable. That's what's his name? The one who did the Flight of the Valkyrie, that composer. I've forgotten his name, but anyway, he had a great. A lot of people think that his glorification of a heroic past led to the First and Second World War, to German nationalism, and obviously we're not really, we have our faults, but we're not really that. Oh, there's a kestrel. I've got to shoot that. Hold on, no, shoot it with a camera like this. Now he caught me reaching for the black thing, the black metal thing, and scarpered. So yes, Wagner is the composer's name I was looking for. We don't want to get all Wagnerian. I mean, it's very, very interesting. So I am interested in things like Valkyries. Dangerous female warriors that decide who lives and dies on the battlefield, and that probably says more about me than it does about the ancient Germans. So the question is, did Germanic and Norse religion make it here to Britain in the same way that it did in Iceland and Sweden and so on? Was the religion the same? We know from the Frank's casket that there was, certainly with the myth of Wayland, it was the same. It does seem to be the same as the Norse. Sorry, I'm making my way through nettles. So, which does beg the question: was the rest of it? Did we have Valkyrie? Did we believe in Valkyrie in this country? Well, there is the word Valkyria was used often to condemn witches and things like this, as in dangerous magical women. The Christian Church condemned them and they call them Valkyria. But Valkyria, even the word Valkyria is softer than the word Valkyrie. So it's. I do wonder whether or not the myths that the ancestors of this country were softer than the Scandinavians. So I've gone the wrong way. I'm back here again, and I memorised the OS map, but I memorised it wrongly. We're heading up there. That is Brightwell Barrow, and we'll talk about that when we get up there. We've got to go around this big field, which is the footpath to get there. And so yes, all the fun of the fair. that's quite nice. There's a bit of an edge or something. I have no idea on the date. I don't have a clue. That's nice because it's been worked for some reason. I think that's erosion. I have no idea what that reason could be. Could be just graffiti, just mucking around. But no idea with the date. It's not my red pottery, red ceramics. I haven't got a clue. I was expecting to find a ditch here, a ditch with water in it, and I thought it might be the Schillingers Brock. It's not here. There's no ditch. It's marked on the OS map as a blue line, but it's not here. So, well, Schillingers is Old English for shillings, something that begot, comma apostrophe s, so it belongs to shilling. Any settlement you see with ing in it means the settlement of the word that goes in front of the ing. So it's probably the people of Shill, but of course a shilling is also a coin from olden days. And there's also a poet, an Old English poet called Schilling. So there's also a settlement about a mile away that way called Shillingsbridge. So so regardless of why both those things are called shillings, it's this boundary has got something to do with that. The separation between Wittenham and the parish of Shillingsford. Still getting terracotta even on this side of the interesting scoring on there. But that's interesting. I normally find terracotta in like clumps. It does seem to be quite well spread around here. I've got a feeling they don't want me to go up there. I really don't like farmers. Apart from Nick of West Littleton, who was a gentleman and is happy to give me access to his land, and another chap up in Tormarton gave me the courtesy of 5 minutes to talk about the artefacts on his land. I hate farmers, but no, I don't. I don't hate them. I find it really annoying that lip service is paid to the right to roam. Yeah, we've got these tiny areas. I guess we're better off than a lot of countries where property means everything. At least in this country, you'll get public footpaths, which is what I'm on at the moment. But it does piss me off when there's an ancient monument that's literally a stone's throw from here. Remember, we're on a wide-angle lens, and that pisses me off, I'm afraid. Let's get the drone out. So we're no longer in the Wittenham parish. That up there is the Brightwell This is called, down here is called Brightwell cum Sotwell, but they were at one point two parishes very close together, where the villages were like a stone's throw from each other, and they've joined together recently. But Brightwell used to be, its origin does seem to be Bridgewell, so a well near a bridge or something like that. It's really annoying I can't get up there to have a look, but I wanted to walk down there to Brightwell, cum Sotwell. Don't know whether you can see it. It's not the farm, but just beyond it is the village, or two villages that are joined. On the 1800s maps, there's a little part of the village called Little London. Now there are, in most English villages, I'm not going to go all the way down there, it's, you know, we've got these short winter days, but with English villages there's often outlying parts of a village, or a part of a village. There's often have their own name, but are part of a parish, and there are familiar names all over southern England, such as Cold Harbour Farm, Cold Harbour Lane, Starville Farm, Starville Lane, and both of those names are very familiar all over the southwest. They seem to have had some meaning which is lost to us, but antiquaries think it's something to do with the Romans. Wherever there's a Roman villa or Roman road, the field that it goes through might be called Cold Harbour or Starville, or Little London. Little London is less well known. At Silchester there's a field called Little London, and various other places, and a beautiful red kite. I don't know whether you can see that, but that is they're very curious. They do like to come and have a look and see what you're up to. I think because my clod hopping around here disturbs the mice, and the red kites want to take advantage of that. But anyway, yes, I was talking about antiquarians. They think Cold Harbour and Starville and so on to do with the Romans. Since then, actual scientists have said no, that's not the case. Actually, I'm not going to walk all down there. That's not the case. The average distance between those names and something Roman is 3.5 kilometres. But since that scientist worked that out, we've found much more Roman. So Little London, the part of the village Brightwell, which no longer exists on the OS map, but did in the 1800s, Little London is slap bang on a Roman road, and that Roman road goes up to the ford of the Thames, and then leads to somewhere near Dorchester. And so I just wanted to, the deeper you look into these things, ideas get mooted, get refuted, and then as we learn more, sometimes they get, and we can take them seriously again. Well, I certainly am. I've said before, there's loads of places called Cold Harbour and Starville near Bristol, and the ones I know of are slap bang next to villas and roads. It may be they're called, or that field or Starview, that field, or it's a Cold Harbour. It's because the Romans left a load of rocks from their tumbled down villas, and it made the fields useless. That's possibly an explanation, but the meaning of it is lost to us, but there is a correlation. Anyway, I finished my walk, not particularly long. Thank you for watching. I shall see you on the next one. Ta-ta for now. Remember to subscribe, like, and all the rest of that gubbins, and you'll be giving me a hand then. Thanks a lot. Bye bye for now. That there is a nice edge, a decorated edge. Well, it's a very simple decoration, but it is there already. Is there anyway? It looks quite fine, you know, reasonably fine object. A cup or something, or a jug. That's really nice. Yeah, I think, you know, that may very well be Roman, but I just don't know. Let me have a quick look. There might be rough inclusions in there, but I can't really see in this half light. That was really nice to find. A little bit of rim is always good. Okay, I'm off. See you on the next one.